Hello, fellow alleged humans, and we return to Tormented Souls 2, where there's a very bad nun who, oh god, a very bad nun who's awaiting a very bad end. However, I do not know how successful we will be in our quest, but let us see. Hello, Wick. Hope you're having a lovely day there. If I recall last time, we were rudely interrupted by Europa Universalis 5, causing my game to deload. It has nothing to do with me closing Steam or anything like that. Yeah, I keep trying to figure out how to not run Byzantium into the ground at the start. And I think I have what is the most successful strategy down, but I don't know. I am really interested in the remainder of our spooky month time, and that has me wanting to play this, especially given the fact that I really want to know how this is going to end, because like at this point it feels like we've gotten like real big vibes where the nun isn't actually in her heart evil, but just got broken by the Cthulhu monster, leading to the result as if she was the bad guy, which, you know, is fine. Well, it's not fine given the amount of torment and pain that occurred in this town, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, this I don't get. It seems like it because of the information we got from Isabella is her sister in her heart of hearts was a good person. Then she came here, presumably was an okay person, and then in like classic Eldritch fashion had a uh dank deep whispering in her ear leading to like her corruption. And indeed, Wick, tentacle monsters have been known to mind break innocent nuns. It is hard to write. It's hard to write compelling evil people because like no one ever wants to go over the line and write like a bad guy that people agree with. So we get a lot of goofy bad guys or like kind of like meme bad guys or like, you know, over the top bad guys or like not really the bad guy but like was possessed sort of a deal. Which is why it's always fun to find a compelling villain because like uh the horror there's something deeply unsettling about a reasonable person who is bad. Sometimes you write over the top bad guys. Oh, it's this one. So it's probably 7? I mean, I think Falling Down is an example of that, if I recall correctly, which is a film from the late 90s, which is about a dude who basically has his breaking point and just goes postal and just like rages against an insane society and the fact that McDonald's doesn't have, like, breakfast past 11 a.m., which is truly the evilest thing about that corporation. Hello, Lizard. And hello, Rusty. I should have said hello. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? In those moments where the cross on his shoulders felt the heaviest, it was then that the devil sought to extinguish the flame of his faith. Oh. I kind of see now. So 13 is after crucifixion. So we're looking, I think we're looking for one that has the devil in it. So it could be 3. Three, 5. Three, 5, 7, 9. Maybe? Three, 5, 7, 9. In those moments, when the cross on his shoulders felt the heaviest, it was then that the devil sought the extinguish of his faith. I really wish I knew about the... I really wish I knew more about, like, the, crucifixion and the resurrection here. We haven't gotten to that season of The Chosen yet. I'm watching it with my flatmates in exchange for, showing them the Foundation. It's been interesting to see the, positioning of Harry Seldon as, like, a Christographic figure. So 3, 5, 7, 9. We will try that now. Wick. The 1. You are correct. But yeah, honestly, like... Galaxy Brain Wick here. Saving the day. But honestly, I feel that the most compelling villains are rational people doing evil things. Like, either that or they're just, like, people. Oh dear. You know what? No, I don't want to deal with you. Like, right now, I'm working on, like, or not a D&D thing, but I'm working on another writing thing because I'm in a writing mood. And it's basically, like, the whole thing, kind of like that, Rusty. We're basically there is an undying emperor leading what effectively at this point is an apartheid state, but like and given that elves are the most evil fantasy race ever, they're the ones being thrown under the bus here. What are your... Yeah, the elves are the apartheid people. The apartheiders. God, there's no good, like, adjective for that kind of thing that's not just, like... Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. You know what? No, just get out of here. Yeah, apartheider and apartheidee. The elves are the bad guy. And what I'm writing is, like, the Emperor is not the evil person, but it's the scheming eunuch kind of class, or nobility in this case. Where basically what they're doing is they're keeping him alive via some ritual that siphons the souls of people sacrificed to make him just kind of exist and act as a figurehead that's just like in a perpetual coma. Which I did kind of steal from a web novel that I read many a year ago, but it was a subplot for the not Chinese faction that I suppose I shouldn't feel bad, given the fact that it's perpetually on a hiatus and will likely never see the light of day again, and their subplot is now part of my main plot. But, I digress. There is a council of grandees, or whatever the hell you call them. Grand Dukes, Archdukes. Oh my god. What do I got here? We got 9 shoddy rounds, we have 2 acid bolts. I don't want to use powder and shot. Yeah, grand doofuses. And basically, no, 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 no. The shotgun wasn't powerful enough. Maybe I need to use the rivet gun. How much ammo we got for that? 48? Yeah, let's shortcut you over here for now, my friend. And like the story is about the fall of this empire, in part through the hand of the emperor, who is basically, as part of the ritual, aspects of his soul is kind of like overflowing. So they're basically creating a series of bound objects that encapsulate the soul and personality of the emperor. Oh, good god. But it is not like they're basically just shipped off somewhere and just like stored and basically forgotten about. It's like the mafia like giving someone a pair of concrete shoes because they've slighted the grand tortellini of your local family. And one of these sort of things is found by the protagonist, or one of the protagonists. And basically, her arc initially will be, in part, being raised after her village was raised. being taught to act as a princeling by the actual emperor, the spirit of the emperor, which I think is a neat idea. And there are a couple of other characters I have in there, but it is all still a work in progress, and it's one of the things I do to pass my time at work. The vaccine. Mother Lucia ordered me to inject Caroline with the puppet virus before waking her from deep sleep. Of course I said I would do it, but instead of the puppet virus, I injected Caroline with an inert substance. Lucia didn't notice anything. I have little time. Lucia wants me dead, I'm certain of it. She plans to stop me from synthesizing a vaccine that can immunize a host against the puppet virus. Unfortunately, this vaccine cannot reverse the effects of the puppet virus once the virus is in the bloodstream, so there's no chance of reversing its effects on me. However, if the vaccine is administered before the host is infected, it will render them immune to the virus's effects. I'm going to need a large amount of black blood directly from the Black Phoenix subject. Well, that's not disconcerting at all. But they're supposed to finish off on the idea of, like, compelling villains. Like, the bad guy in that are the counselors who are kind of maintaining this state for no other purpose than, like, their own power and the suffering that causes. And, like, when we think about it, one of the greatest evils in the world is just quite simply inertia. Which is why I always refer to physics as one of the cruelest mistresses in existence. I think the only problem with that is, Rusty, is the fact that we've already gotten our sister, and I'm pretty sure what the photograph does is it takes you to a point in time, and then that time still happens. So if we go back there, I'm going to assume our sister is gone from that photo. Like, the only thing we can do at this point is, like, to find another photo that is in this past. I think that is the earliest point. Well, technically no, but we would have to there is one from the 1950s. So we would have to go back in time. No, but we're stuck in that area, so we can't, like, leave. We can only bring people out. Which is the only unfortunate thing like that. There was the one where we left her. There was 3 going back in time segments. There was the 1950s, where it was our grandpa, sort of, like, figuring out things. Then there's the 70s, where we were finally born. It was the same photo, Rusty. We basically went back to photograph 2 and took her to the future. Some kind of pagan statue, there's a message inscribed. Only souls brave enough to surrender wholly to the darkness can move beyond this path. Oh, I see. Yeah, unfortunately we have to do my greatest nemesis. Why can't I say nemesis? Well, I'm sure you can all tell by this point, but I'm very energetic today. That is because I have mainlined a Red Bull and enjoyed an entire, like, I want to say thermos because thermos is too big, but an entire big cup of, oh dear, of coffee, which I needed to get through the day at work, and the caffeine has not worked its way out of my system, so we have a fully armed and operational Wellington here. In a rare fashion, even. Yeah, I'm in Ultra Instinct mode, Wellington. So I'm confident we can win the game today. We're gonna get a full hell yeah out of 5. Oh no, not an accusing stare. That means I gotta pull out my thing. Or are there multiple accusing stares? No. What do you mean, Vummer? High dosage of copium detected. Listen, just because in my, like... I'm not sure if I did in the stream title or the stream announcement, had a very kind of, like, chipper, hipper, pepper pots kind of attitude in regards to what's going on. Doesn't mean anything. Oh god, we're fighting these things again. Into the Nazi tomb. But it has been interesting to kind of work on story stuff again, and I've been enjoying it thoroughly. I was working on the evolution of the Imperial Army and how that plays into the story as will be experienced. Were basically reforms that were necessary to kind of fight back against some threat like nearly 80 years before. Basically empowered and trained a generation of, like, people to know how to fight, lead, and strategize, and basically led to a more innovative fighting force that led to the end of the Empire. Monstrous transformations have taken place while these people are wearing these suits. Intruder in the lab, Dr. Nathaniels. Today I encountered an intruder snooping about the laboratory. To my surprise, I discovered after I had struck the intruder around the head with a metal pipe that it was test subject 575, who had been in cryogenesis in Dr. Angelica's laboratory. I transferred her unconscious body into one of the functioning prototypes of the suspended animation tanks. Submerging her in amniotic fluid should facilitate a faster recovery. I'm aware that Dr. Angelica will not be pleased that her test subject was physically harmed. I attempted to reach her through the intercom system, but received no response. That makes me very uneasy. I'll return to the underground laboratory immediately. The journey will be slow and painful in this heavy-duty diving suit. My biological tissue and cold metal are fusing too rapidly. I have abandoned hope of ever removing it. I must view these conditions as a trial, an opportunity to demonstrate my worthiness for salvation. Which is always delightful when you have, like, a bad guy talking about that. Oh. That's very interesting that it accepted my hand. That is true, Wick. We also don't have the moon-based Nazis like Iron Sky, where you have the Habsburg crisis going on there, I'm sure. See, this is what I find weird. Like, when did we invent, like, a metal detector? I guess they... you see, I don't know if this is, like, a Third Reich facility that then they moved in a whole bunch of modern stuff. Eventually. Though I guess there was no, like, kind of lapse in governance of the facility, given the fact that Pedro died here and it was, like, Pedro Hess. That was managing it. Which is kind of weird to think about, like, the bad guys from one story. It's kind of, in a sense, I suppose, like, in Fallout, how there is, like, just the Enclave. There's just, like, random Enclave bases where you just have them there for, like, 2,000 years, and you're like, oh, I guess this is a thing. I know it's not high technology, but there are a lot of things that are not high technology that did take us a while to figure out. It's like, I don't believe there's anything stopping, like, the Romans from inventing a, like, Volta battery. But it's in part, like, randomly trying stuff until you figure out how the principle works. And, like, there are some things, like, I know the railgun was designed in 1942 by crackhead Nazi scientists, and there was... I think CCTV was invented during the war as well, which kind of surprised me. Eureka! Praise the Lord! By fusing the black blood and Caroline's blood, I've managed to synthesize a virus that negates the host's free will, allowing them to be controlled fully. After countless failed experiments, she really did have the answers I needed. Thank you, Caroline. It's clear to me that God sent you to us for a reason. With this discovery, Mother Lucia will be able to control the will of any being that is implanted with the virus, just like pulling the strings of a puppet. There are side effects, of course. Hosts of the virus exhibit symptoms such as purple skin, disorientation, and a state of constant fatigue. I finally feel I can rid myself of this obnoxious radiation suit and take a stroll outside again. I haven't seen the sunlight in years. I'm a little sad about leaving Caroline here alone, but don't worry, my Caroline. It will only be for a moment. Soon you will awaken from your long sleep and we will meet again at long last. I have so much to tell you. I don't remember. Is Sister Angelica the lady from the beginning of the game? Or is that Sister Miriam? I suspect it was Miriam and not Angelica, since that... I guess wrong. Since we saw, like, a real lady both in the past and the present. Oh, boy. Alright, what I'm really worried about is the game seems to want to just send us people that are difficult to contend with in my time of need, and I don't know how to cross that bridge here in the 11th hour. Due to my concerns about ammo. Because I know there's going to be a final boss, and I want to be prepared for said final boss. A very strange kind of blood. Finally, a sign from heaven! I had been unable to make any significant progress in my research. Containing or redirecting the energy from the mitochondria of the blood cells through plasma into the organs of the test subjects has proved to be very difficult. Even more so in these anti-radiation suits, which are uncomfortable to wear all day, to say the least. So I prayed and I prayed, asking God to light my way. I am ashamed to admit that I was losing faith. That was until God answered my prayers. Mother Lucia brought us a new subject. She'd been placed in cryogenesis for the next 14 years. I took a blood sample after putting the subject to sleep, and to my surprise, the blood cells have not one, but two nuclei surrounded by thousands of mitochondria. When I placed the subject's blood sample close to the black blood we had been investigating, the radiation levels of the latter skyrocketed, and incredibly, the subject's blood began to emit a faint, warm light. I'm sure the subject contains the answers I need. Praise the Lord. So what I am uncertain about is, like, how much of this are people actually, like, thinking of things in the Judeo-Christian kind of context still? And how much of it is, like, people, like, going full kind of cuckoo bananas with what's going on, where there is a kind of, like, increasing worship of, like, Nautilus. Restricted area. Puppet virus carriers only. Is this like a sensor to see if we had the puppet virus? Indeed it is. Interesting. That is kind of a fun thing to think about, where there is a virus thing that is basically being able to be tested quickly enough such that folks can use it as a clearinghouse. Like, only people with Ebola are allowed in this area, you know, for the whole, like, 2 hours they have left to live. Or, I don't know, what other, like, viruses would be a blocker? Like, you're in a lab that is, like, I guess could be COVID. You could have a COVID lab that you can only go into if it's COVID. That just feels a bit, like, grim at that point. And hello, Avenue. I hope you're having a good day. And we shall see if we're able to bring Carolyn Walker to a happy end. Or any end here. Today. I'm expecting so, since this definitely is, like, the quintessential, in both quite literally, lab portion of the game. So what's kind of weirding me out here is, like, we have a spark plug, which I'm guessing is to turn on the generator. Kind of. but I don't know how we're gonna find a place for it. Also, honestly, like, a diving suit has to be, like, a terrible, like, radiation suit. Like, I guess it depends on, like, a couple of things, though I'm not even sure how I can begin to even, like, do the mental gymnastics on this. Because, like, current tech, radiation shielding is just a thicker material or, like, more blockages. Like, the reason why lead is favorable is because it's something, if I remember correctly. I don't want to say density. I think it is, actually, because of its atomic weight, because there's just more molecules in there, or more neutrons and whatnot in there that can be act as the ablative shielding. But, like, look at this. This is, like, nothing. Like, the Cthulhu radiation has to be, like, baby radiation, because if you walked into Chernobyl with this, you gonna be dead. Now, granted, I don't know what the actual kind of radiation shielding we have is, but in terms of, like, modern kit, there are a couple of things that I think might do better, but I don't want to say anything because I'm trying to get a friend of mine to write a paper about it. But we will have to see about that as the future goes on. Alright, so we have generator offices over here. We have whatever the hell this room was. Elevator passage. The generator corridor. Puppet virus. And something else. It implies that it wants us to be infected with the puppet virus. But I don't want to subject myself to that quite yet. I guess this is bunker office and not generator office. There has to have been something I missed. Either that or I'm not grokking something. Because the only other kind of option is that we need to inject our own self with the spooky virus, which doesn't exactly feel right. And I'm gonna assume we don't have, like, the power for it. Oh. Ah! Alright, boys and girls, moral of the story, don't inject yourself with strange chemicals that are in, like, the evil lab. Though I am kind of sad we don't have this in any of the Resident Evils as, like, a option for a puzzle solution. Like, you're just going into, like, the Umbrella Labs and, like, oh, I don't know, you have, a guy just shoving a thing in your face. Yeah, so, like, last time we had kind of, like, butcher people acting as, like, our big bad man. Here we have Bioshock Big Daddy people that are our big bad man. Which is why, like, I'm even more incredulous to the armor design, because, like... At least they had leather. I'm pretty sure this is just, like, burlap. This is almost the exact plot of Resident Evil 2 with Sherry as the antibodies. You're not wrong, Bummer. You're not wrong. I feel I'm getting more of, like, a Silent Hill 2 or a Silent Hill dominant, like, story beats in this game. With, more Resident Evil undertones rather than the first game. It very much felt like Resident Evil dominant. Which I'm beginning to get the feeling that I am missing something. So we can't get in here without puppet virus people. And maybe that is... something we can take a look at, because, like, we have no kind of indication as so far, I think, about what we need. Like, there's nothing over here. The only other kind of thing in the facility is... the... I don't want to say good doctor, but bad doctor here, who presumably is Dr. Nathaniel, who... is infected like that, and... I don't know. A, because I lost my train of thought, because it is EP Wellington hours. And B, because I don't know what's going on. So it might be in Angelica's notepad. We just got 3. We also recently got 5. Ah, there it is. So... dominant red... 2 parts red... and then using the same volume of red... or 1/3 the volume... or half the volume of the red... you have to make up green and yellow. Because I don't want to fight Bioshock Man 70 billion times, we're going to inject ourselves with the puppet virus, even though that's a terrible idea. And then go from there. It is kind of sad to think we're at the end of spooky season. Granted, like, in the... not Bioshock, but the... Dead Rising fashion, we're in overtime mode here, I won't deny. There is, I don't know. I'm sad to see it go. I enjoy horror games a fair amount, even though that I am big coward at times. Which is exactly why we had the Hinako bunny suit victory scenario. But, I don't know, I find something interesting about confronting one's own nightmares to be a fascinating subject. This is the horror of infinite sewer level. Yeah. This is the horror of Ocarina of Time Water Temple. Alright, Sis Angelica, so we got 1 part man, so that's 3. We need 6. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We quite literally had it in the fine spot the first time. So, I don't know why this was, like, the solution. Because, like, now we're susceptible to, like, Big Bad Lady, and, like, in most horror games, I would assume that's locking us into a bad end. Which would not leave a Wellington happy. Alright, so I'm assuming we're going to need to activate the spark plug before we can do anything. I know there is a good ending. And I know what we need to do for it. But I think we're still fine for the time being. Because I don't think we have arrived at that step quite yet. Joseph's intriguing words. What in God's name? What has happened to the town? Almost everyone has left, and the stench is unbearable. The step was before the church? Ooh, wee. Why didn't you tell me anything about what was happening here? I ran into old Joseph, and what he told me left me in shock. Mother Lucia is planning something to conquer the entire world, and I, locked in that laboratory, was the one who helped her with her evil plan. Is this the world in which Caroline will walk? I cannot allow it. Old Joseph dared me to go down into the depths beneath the laboratory, telling me I would find my answers there. I returned to the laboratory only to discover that Lucia had implemented a mechanism to allow entry only to those who carry the puppet virus in their blood. Can synthesize a vaccine for the virus. For that, I would need access to the laboratory. Damn you, Lucia. Didn't realize that's where the spark plug needed to be. But it seemed like such a good idea at the time, Wick. Oh no. Maybe the spark plug's up here for some reason? No, but there is shardy? There is shotty shells here, my good and joyous friend. But it's not in the same angle as the other ones. That means it's not... Okay. So we have Mr. Man active. Is it after every misfiring the... Do we need... Oh, no, we probably... Okay, I think I know what it is. We need to start up the generator, then it'll actually be generating power, then we can connect it to the main line. The belt's not moving. 0 out of 10 game. We'll go take a look. I would be fine seeing what the neutral ending is and what the good ending is. Because I'm pretty sure we're not on the bad ending. Because I know there's 3 endings based off of the achievements. But... at maximum today, I only have 2 hours before I have to go to bed. And I'll be taking melatonin in an hour, which means, we're going to have Dementia Wellington soon. Oh, right. I understand now, yeah. No. I, for some reason, thought something was going to happen. The good ending is locked behind using a resource we have to get in the church, which we couldn't get until we completed the school segment, I think. Oh god, I hope he isn't dead. Then we'll have to redo this entire section. I doubt the game would be that cruel. Pish posh. Now I'm very afraid at the own concept of my own hubris. So we're going to make a jaunt back to Lycée. Oh. Oh no, I just remember we're gonna have to fight like 70 zombies. We are saving this playthrough indeed. Part of the reason why we haven't gone back to Clock Tower 2 is because I have to replay the entire game from the start because we missed out a thing, one little thing in the first act that is locking us out of the good ending, and I just haven't had... I haven't had the heart to go back and play through it all. We will at some point, but I am happy that at least we're going to do a thing. And I'm glad actually we came back, because we got a little bit of lore there with Amelia's Shrine, who is the daughter of Joseph, who is the weird Cthulhu man who... just decided that he was going to have a happy old time. Alright, so what we learned from previous experiments is it takes 2 shots to kill each of the Bone Man. And as everybody loves Mr. Bone Man, we're going to give him the tender loving care that he needs. The one thing I do find a bit difficult in regards to the setting is, like, the suspension of disbelief needed in order to, like, work around all the random Cthulhu powers and how it's all kind of, like, goofy. And, like, it's hard to kind of peck down, like, what powers are available to the bad guys. And yeah, she unfortunately is suffering from, like, critical bonitis, or whatever the hell we want to call it. Where she hasn't taken enough, like, Leon S. Kennedy or Chris Redfield rated steroids that are allowing her to wield this Giga Hammer like a champ. Hey, Nemi. Hope you're having a lovely day. Please don't be dead. 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 Nope. We're all good. But I'm going to put it up to a poll at the end of the stream as kind of a quick pulse check of, like, what people are interested we do for November. Whether or not we want to continue doing variety games and the long play, which is finishing the mega campaign, or if we want to do a lot of EU5. I am personally now hesitant to do a lot of EU5 streams because of, like, the sheer oversaturation of it at this point, which I should have anticipated. I don't think there's anything novel that I've thought of in regards to the game yet. Surely we have to go back and... No, we'll do that next year, Vummer. I'm thinking we might do, like, a mega campaign for every year. I kind of like the idea of that. Just as a general concept. And I know, Rusty, it's less like the inherent oversaturation, it is the lack of differentiation. I don't mind not having something that is, like, keyed up for me to have brain rot. Because, like, I think the biggest issue is, like, me being able to run my mouth. It's like, I need to figure out something fun. Jake, Blobber won't be doing another stream of it based off of his last stream. Jake, Blobber, Kaladin, Andarius, Franconian. I think there was some other dude. Oh, right, Baron. But also not Baron. There's, like, someone outside of, like, the normal people that I would think of. It was, like, someone who I don't normally see, like, announcing a stream that I saw. Though I might be, like, splitting Andarius in half and acknowledging that Andarius is a normal person you see, but you're not normally seeing Andarius announcing a stream. No, it's not Young. Young is someone who I mentally associate with streaming. I didn't realize that Max did a, like, Twitch stream of it. I know he's been playing it a lot in JJ Chord, but... Okay. But basically, I'm happy to leave it up to folks if y'all would like to see yet another person in the community doing EU5, we can, but my Amazon brain rot has me questioning the specific value add of how we can maximize our KPIs in order to assert our bing bing bong bong. I don't know how much Max has streamed on Discord. I've watched more of C Fusion on Discord streaming it. As is C Fusion's wont to do. Mainly because he was kind enough to actually show it, because I was curious how his game was going. But I think as of now, what my kind of, like, instinct is for it is I want to learn the game a bit first off stream, and then see what fun things we can do. Because, like, I feel Welly brain rot is not, like, us talking about the skibbity riz of, like, the awoo bulge in someone's shirt. Granted, that was more curse than it was brain rot. Well, 2 of one, 3 of the other. I don't know, I'm trying to think of, like, what brain rot with these kids are. Like, these hipster teenagers these days and their, you know, their memes and their schemes. I should probably say hi to man. And I guess I threw furries in there as, like, a community we cared about, so that's on me. But we have, like, in strategy gaming, it's more finding, like, a fun meme to do. So, like, playing as, like... The door won't open anymore, someone must have jammed it closed. Like in EU4 doing a, I don't know, a gold-only economy, or a gold primary economy, and just seeing how quickly your nation will collapse. Granted, like, I can't think of anything really much for doing that for the normal Paradox games. The only thing I can kind of think of is a Hoi 4 campaign idea I have, that I was thinking about doing it in October. Incompetence is quite good for making it novel. That is true. I realize how bad my gameplay was of the first EU5 stream we did, where I didn't realize that we could just have the government doing things without my having appointed bureaucrats there, and yeah. We were basically not doing a lot of things that could have, like, dramatically helped our nation. But you can only be Mr. Bean for so long. You can only go to the Winchester and just hope everything rolls over for so long before you either learn or it's just like you fall on the banana peel for the 5th time. I like the idea of remaining fresh, if not rhyming as much as I can in the kind of ideas and things I talk about. Which is why I don't have, like, every other stream talking about beaver lore and expanding beaver lore, because that wouldn't be fun. We have our special little beaver lore activity. We might see more if I ever play Timberborn, as we create the beaver empire of evil beavers, or what have you. But Ahoy game I was thinking about having be one of our spook games was we would play World Ablaze, which is the hardest Hoy mod that I have played to completion of a campaign, where I would have chat take positions of like the one person could be the Foreign Office, one person could be the Minister of the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, the economy, or something like that. And basically, the goal would be to see if A, we could survive, or whatnot. And it's considered a spooky game because we're playing the bad guys. And that would be a nightmare if that was a victory scenario, and we actually succeeded in that campaign. But due to how cumbersome the idea for the chat interaction is, I'm not sure whether or not people would A, be interested in doing that, or B, that would be easy to manage. Because I don't have the coding skills of Fish, where I can put together a thing and have it be able to do what I need. You know, though, now that I think about it, what we could really spend November doing? Skyrim. We could have a month of Skyrim, because, you know, it's, there's more time between the fall of the Roman Empire and Skyrim releasing than there is between Skyrim releasing and Elder Scrolls 6 coming out, so, hey. And it would prepare us well for Cage Miss, I think. Though, I had a brilliant idea when I was at work the other day, and I now realize I've completely forgotten it, much to my chagrin and heartbreak. Oh, but what I wouldn't kill for a map for right now. The Black Phoenix experiment. The Black Phoenix experiment has demonstrated significant progress. After obtaining a DNA sample from the Nautilus egg, the team was astonished to discover that the genetic material had remained completely intact. Despite the passage of time, the DNA was successfully used to inseminate an ovum, resulting in its immediate transformation to an amorphous mass that began to grow at an accelerated rate. Masses started to take on form, developing tentacles and what can only be described as a face. Due to its rapid growth, relocation to a larger space was deemed necessary before it fully occupied the current laboratory. During transit, it was noted that the entity's tentacles had developed remarkable strength in an alarmingly short period of time. 3 team members were fatally crushed by its tentacles despite the highly durable anti-radiation suits they were wearing. Stricter containment measures have been implemented to prevent a similar occurrence in the future. I trust these precautions will prove sufficient. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna fight a tentacle monster in here? The place beyond. We must stop playing God. The entity exhibited vital signs since the start of the experiment, but nothing that suggested any level of consciousness. We believe that the eyes within the viscerocranium have remained closed since the insemination until the incident. I was reading a news article about the disappearance of some young ladies at sea when I heard the scream coming from above in the laboratory. I hesitated for a moment, but I finally stepped towards the source of the scream. The experiment had its eye open, inhuman pupils fixed on Dr. Martina, causing her such intense pain that she was writhing on the ground holding her head in her hands. I was frozen in astonishment when, for a mere fraction of a second, my eyes met those of the creature. It felt as if a knife was being plunged from my eyes to the back of my skull. What that thing showed me is something I cannot describe. A, a place beyond time and space. Something somewhere so desolate that suffering takes on a meaning beyond our comprehension. A blackout plunged the laboratory into complete darkness and severed the thing's grasp on my mind. Dr. Martina and two other scientists who were exposed to the test subject's gaze have taken their own lives. They were found dead in their cabins. The team feared the same for me, though I was only taken for a fraction of a second. I'm being administered sedatives and under constant monitoring. I've not been able to sleep for days. Every time I close my eyes, I see that place again. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna fight that as the final boss. It certainly has big final boss energy there. Not this crap again. Is this it? Is this where the eye monster is? From what I can tell, I can definitely see like a Resident Evil style boss in the background there. The extractor is not yet installed. The system is not yet powered on. I don't know what to think about this. What an abomination. Is it alive? I mean, for given definitions of alive, it's alive. I mean, what I really wish I had was a map, because this thing is just grotesque. We have the syringe ready, so we're going to have to find another object there. It's extremely rude of him to be ugly. Yeah, I mean, why can't all Cthulhu monsters be, like, incredible sexy hunks and, you know, being there just for eye candy activities? Yeah, you're gonna be a bad guy, I know. I know what your game is, mister. Why can't they get into skincare? That is true. If only the Cthulhu monsters thought about the people. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Yeah, but then you have, like, eons to, like, mess up your skin. They've brought monsters from the other side. So there's a Dean Koontz novel that I would recommend. It is actually, to be fair, the only Dean Koontz novels that I have read, but I did thoroughly enjoy them. And that is Fear Nothing and Don't... I always get this confused with the serial killer one. It's Fear Nothing and Something Night. And it's part of a trilogy, and is good. I will be very kind of like... I don't want to say nuanced, but I'll be very kind of cautious in like explaining the concept if anyone's like interested in reading a thriller. And it is a dude who has like... Well, it's a dude that is unable to go into the sunlight for reasons, or has difficulty going into the sunlight for reasons, and basically is exploring an abandoned facility as part of the thing near his home in, I believe, California. And it's a nice little thing of, I think, a modern take on an Eldritchian concept. Why am I able to come here? Why is it like if I go here before we're ready, is it bad end? That does kind of make sense, but I'm like very worried now because of the fact that we can come down here. I don't know what to say about any of this. I guess this kind of makes sense given the fact it's a the end of the game energy. Okay, this is definitely like you're about to fight the final boss right here. More suits and nothing really else. I was really hoping there'd be a map in here. But yeah, I really hope the final boss does a better job than the first game. So this was originally discovered by the Nazis. That is the only thing we know for a fact right now. Which, like... I would kind of like to see that explored in not something like this. Like, I would like to see, like, a movie that's taken straight, where, like, you're watching an expedition from the Third Reich to an ancient temple, and they think they're going to find things that are, like, I don't know, whatever their woo stuff was, and it just ends up being a film where they're all, like, killed. And maybe one of them gets away and then, like, reports what they found, and, like, it sets you up for a sequel where, like, you know, you have something else silly going on. But, like, I struggle to understand... Kind of. Kinda Raiders of the Lost Ark. But that was like, that was just like a fun little jaunt. No, they all died. You know, actually, we might want to play the new Indiana Jones game after this, or at some point soon, because I think that is a concept that they kind of look at, where, like, it is Raiders of the Lost Ark energy. Yeah, I watched Jesse Cox play it a bit. Game number 86. You know what? I need to start adding things to the long playlist because I keep forgetting them. Indiana Jones new game. Indiana Jones 2025. There we go, I've done it. I have taken an accountable and actually added to the long playlist so everyone can see. Oh no 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 no. Da, 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 da. But I mean, don't we want there to be like game number 6 billion on the list rather than us running out of games to do? I mean, what if we... what a Power Rangers enemy entrance? You're not wrong, but I can't deny that it didn't get me, because it did in fact... oh god, my throat. I was in fact bamboozled by the Power Rangers bad guy moment there. Alrighty. I'm gonna guess what we need to do... If I were to assume what is going on here, basically we could go down into the final section of the game and have a thing occur, and then we'll immediately be taken over by Lady. That'll be bad end. Good end will be... Neutral end is we didn't save man, but we gave ourselves the vaccine. And then good end is we gave ourselves the vaccine and saved the dude that we're probably going to be banging at the end of the movie here. Because, like, he's, like, vaguely attractive enough that I suspect that is where they're going with it. However, I will not question the writer's vision any more than I already have. The final fragment. The final fragment remains lost. We must find it as soon as possible. Time is running out. We must lure it to us with a soul so tormented that the fragment can sense it from far away. We'll take refuge in its body and feed on its pain. I've discovered the perfect bait. Juan, the night guard at the processing plant, loves his daughter more than anything else in the world. It is a pure and powerful love, unlike anything I have seen before. If I can transform his love into pain and guilt, the fragment will come to us. Puppet virus. Reckoning Day. So it's not us that is the fragment. So what is it that they want to do? Can we save Sister Angelica? Is that what's going on? Like, we inject Sister Angelica with the super virus or super vaccine, and then we're good to go? Because we have no idea. We don't have like an advanced biomedical degree to kind of save our own hide with. This is where we've already been, yeah. Looks like this capsule's used recently. Project Cryos. Oh, yeah, and then we're gonna have to inject ourselves with the vaccine. I understand now. So this is the room where we were imprisoned then. That makes sense. Alright, let's see who is alive in the past. You know, just in case. Are our titties out? Our titties are in fact out. Alright. Safety wallaby is not enough. The wallaby is not powerful enough. Alright. I will return to the beaver sensor once we go back into that area. But I'm gonna guess that the cure, or the means and methods to make the cure, in here. Is this where Mother Lucia, or Anna Amelia, or Maria, or Anastasia, or I don't remember her name. Baking Stupid Sister Angelica. I knew it was an A name. Today is Carolyn Walker's birthday. I made her a cake. Well, I attempted to make her a cake. Baking was never my specialty, and it's far more difficult to put together a birthday cake with lab instruments and the lightheadedness brought on by working in a confined metal suit day in and day out. It's been 7 years since I began the mission Mother Lucia gave me. Talking to Caroline always brings me relief, even if she cannot respond. What was I thinking? I should be focusing on fulfilling my sacred mandate, not baking stupid cakes for test subjects. She seems like a sweetheart, if not a bit dull. Which I guess kind of does track, because there are, by dull I mean without guile. Because there's a lot of smart people who I know that are in Big Brainistan, but they have the guile of a lemming, which is never good to combine the two, let me tell you what there. That's a nice fetus monster. Oh yeah, that's... You're gonna jump out of that cage, and I already know it, buddy. We loot the entire area These capsules contain horrible monsters. You have an empty syringe. And you're gonna punch out. Large fetus of some kind of beast is contained in an incubation chamber. Don't know why I'm slurring my speech so bad. Well, I knew something was gonna come out and... Oh, the camera! You know what? Okay. We're about to see if the blunderbuss has penetration. The answer is it does. Oh, hell yeah. Alright, let's take some time to reload the magnum of our horror game here. Alright, I was honestly expecting, like, the con of that weapon as it took 70 years to reload. Alright, so... Zootolores. At least I was correct in this guy was going to be a problem, and there's one more that's going to be a problem. You. Okay. There was only two that drew my eye. What would President Shaq do in this type of situation? Well, we all know that President Shaq isn't like the fighting big zombie guys. Like, he would be retired President Shaq at this point because, like, in our fictional timeline... Well, actually, here. So, like, here's the timeline of US presidents in the Wellyverse right now in this, like, amorphous, like, video game timeline. So, like, as I understand it, Wellington said while stalling, we have, like, the president in the 90s, my beloved best boy. Wait, no, you're over here. We have our beloved best boy, President Shaq, right? So he would probably be the president from 1992 to 2000, presumably. And maybe 1996. Like, I don't know when Shaq would get into politics, but I feel like he would gracefully make his exit in the year 2000, which is immediately followed by President Charlie Sheen, where during one of the greatest crises in modern history, we have him at the international, like, all-you-can-eat baby back rib competition. And I don't know if he would have won the 2004 election or if he would have survived until the 2008 financial crisis. But that's, this is all we've established for our alternate universe presidential lore right here, and I'm trying to figure out who would be our... Who would take over the, 2008 to 2016, or the 2004 to, 2012 kind of arc here. You must really hate people living there. Wow. What's wrong with President Charlie Sheen? Well, there's many things wrong with President Charlie Sheen, but we're gonna ignore that for the time being. We're gonna move Shaq back up to his, like, don't say pole position, but his happy little area at the top of the screen at a small man position. Or in his small man aspect here. And then we shall return to the game. So I'm assuming this is the Dark Phoenix. A wager, I guess. Yeah, honestly, from the picture, it looks like it might be barely enough to get off the baby back ribs. I don't know. I kind of think like AU, Charlie Sheen would probably take the Kennedy route, where he's addicted to smack, or like he's prescribed smack, and then like as a result of the crises that he faces at the beginning of his presidency, he gets off the smack. Because I always like because this is my cinematic universe, I'm going to take the Aaron Sorkin or whatever the hell that guy's name is, Dan Sorkin, Michael Jordan kind of approach here and write like my optimistic fanfic of my political thriller. He will be like 400 pounds though by the end of his presidency. Like we have to have some type of flaw. And much like how not Kurt Cobain, the famed writer who writes horror novels that is kind of schlocky, cocaine individual man, Stephen King is who I mean to say. He has his priests be alcoholics. Charlie Sheen is HIV positive at this point. I do not know when he contracted HIV or how he contracted HIV. I mean, it would be kind of interesting to like have like a narrative thing where you have like the president dying of like AIDS. That would be a interesting narrative arc to see like how the nation would take it. And it wouldn't be the most horrific thing that someone's done to a political figure in fiction. Which a friend of mine was, one of my coworkers and I were talking about the Judy Hopps fanfic that was made, and the sick people that the Zootopia fandom is. Good God, are they a bunch of profligates? Ugh. Oh God. No, guys, you don't get it. It's only because I shoot up heroin. Public support goes to the moon. President Heroin would be pretty fun. Alright, I'm sorry everybody, but we gotta censor the booba again. I'm not falling for the booba allegations this time. Nancy Drew, no. Box Outline, no. Spooky Con, no. Neo Bazelmo, no. We're not gonna play Neo for a while at least. What are you? Oh, Rose Dawson. I mean, if you want to imagine what's going on, just like type into your Google on your work computer, booba, and then you'll have like what I am observing. Pixelated booba. At least it's not like Heavy Rain or like LA Noire where like can you censor them with boobs, the birds? Unfortunately, if I had more time, I would grab a couple of tits and put them on screen there. I do indeed have the preparation here. I mean, it's really unfortunate because, like, there was a whole thing where, like, we woke up from after being injected with, like, alien blood. Like, what is going on here? We're getting more upgraded. Wait, do we have... There was a picture that I wasn't sure if it was real or not, where like we grew our eye back. Big spoiler, I know, but now I'm honestly kind of curious if like we have like our eye back and we don't realize it now because like we're now officially like injecting ourselves with like super soldier serum. Like, I'm just telling you all right now, I'm getting incredibly invested in like the uh Captain America tier like enhancements like we're doing to Caroline here. Cuz like I'm pretty sure in the next game like she's going to be knocked out uh and then turned into Adam Jensen. Is real life Welly the same as Twitch Welly, or is this some sort of therapy? I mean, it's in part like a therapy such that I can get this energy out in a place where I can't get like talked to by HR if I'm not sufficiently big-brained at times. But I would argue when I'm talking to some of my coworkers, I am worse than I am on stream. Because you see, my true power comes out when I have someone to byplay with. And I say, like, horrible, horrible things that are appropriate in the given social situation, but, like, kind of, like, unfortunate in the time. Like, uh... like, a coworker of mine was, like, being mean, so I immediately just hit them back with, "This is why you don't get any bitches, my friend." To which you're like, "Wellington!" With, like, a gasp face, which was, good fun. And, I got one of my coworkers to say, tell me to kill myself after I made a 6-7 joke. To which the amusing part was the look of horror on their face when they said that, because I had activated them outside of like I had managed to make the joke lined up so they were in the demeanor of a Discord call, and the look of horror they gave me just leaves me cackling every single time I think of it. Like, the other day, granted this wasn't the other day, this was like last week. I'll take it the two are the same then. No, those are two separate coworkers. The one that I said that, I said the first comment to is the more demure one. The other one is the one who, we have similar energies, which is really bad in a work setting. But it is, quite amusing. Like, we spent... I think I should put this in Wellycord, but we spent, like, 7 hours on our Monday basically constructing, like, a Disney villain tier list in regards to how evil they were. I was very upset that Mayor Bellwether, or Deputy Mayor Bellwether from, Zootopia wasn't, like, in the top 10 by the end of it. Oh. The energies are very similar, Nemi, yeah. If anything, like, I'm more demure on stream because I have less to play off of at times. Like, as much as surprising as this may be, especially, like, when I'm in new environments, I'm very shy. Which is why, like, when I finally get comfortable around people, they're like, Wellington, like, what? Like, one of my favorite reactions to get out of people is, like, seeing someone react to hearing me swear for the first time. Because, like, I give off the energy of, like, a foppish aristocrat at times that is, like, that would faint after hearing someone say a swear. Because of kind of like down key I am. Low key? And is a good time to see that reaction. It is my petty vengeance after years and years of people getting my goat for their own sick amusement, to which they still do today. But you have been working for your corporate overlord since the dawn of time? I mean, just because I'm a minor millionaire, because I worked for Jeff Bezos since I was 2 years old, and I have like 10,000 stock options, doesn't mean anything.
Finally, the chosen ones are both here. It is just as you foretold, my Lord Nautilus. The Wild Burger twins have come to set you free.
Give me back my sister, Lucia. We're not taking part in this twisted resurrection.
Poor child, you think you can resist what has already been decided.
I'm not infected with your puppet virus. Your mind control tricks won't work on me.
I don't need the virus to control you, Caroline. I've been pulling your strings all along.
You're delusional.
Am I? See how the flesh of Nautilus beats fiercely within its confinement? That's all thanks to you, my child. Remember the 4 entities you killed? Pighead and Dr. Hartz, the Iron Maiden and the Harvester. Each of them was a vessel that held a fragment of the soul of our Lord Nautilus. Only you could have made that journey to the other side and broken open those vessels, Caroline.
What?
You played your part perfectly, and now my plan is almost complete. Those soul fragments are reunited here within the seed of Nautilus, and his essence is poised to bring salvation upon our realm.
Haven't you seen the effect that thing has already had on this town? Is that the salvation he'll bring to the rest of the world?
I shall be the guide and emissary. I have taken steps to harness his infinite power. Now come, join your sister. I need you and Anna both to activate the mechanism that will awaken our Lord. You are the heirs of the blood of the ancient guardians, and this is your destiny.
Forget it. You can't make me.
You're trying my patience, young lady. Do as I say, or I'll make your sister open her throat from ear to ear.
Stop! Fine. I'll do it. Just don't hurt her, please.
Just step up to the pedestal and place your hand on the touchstone. You have been a loyal handmaiden to the cause so far. Help us in this final act, and you will not find Nautilus ungrateful in the bright future you bring to pass.
This is madness. What makes you think you can harness this demon?
The puppet virus has been injected into the seed and is already assimilating with his essence. I shall hold the reins of his will just as firmly as I do Anna's.
Do you ever listen to yourself, Lucia? I don't think you have any concept of what you're dealing with here.
Hush now, child. Now it's your turn. Place your hand upon the touchstone. Do it now.
You'll regret this.
loyal emissary, mighty one, who freed you from your unjust exile. Now is the time to shine your light upon the world. Strike down this blasphemer!
Anna!
She's okay, Caroline. Anna's unconscious, but she's still breathing.
Get her out of here, Miguel.
What about you?
I helped wake this thing. I have to send it back where it belongs.
I can't leave you to face this thing on your own.
This fight is my destiny. Just get Anna somewhere safe, please. If she dies, none of this will make sense.
None of this will make sense. That's an interesting way to phrase that, my dear. Already, this boss is, even if I will baby rage at it due to its construction, much better due to the fact that it's an actual boss fight. I don't know how we deal with that particular conundrum there. It's nice of it to signal that to us. Alright, so I don't have permanent iframes. Which is both sad and good to know. God, I hate. As I suspected, I will baby rage at this. Due to the fact that I am bad at video game. Actually, no, I probably won't get too mad at this. Okay. Exactly, Wick. You know the idea here. I know I'm not bad at video games, but, like, what is it? Like, you always gotta set it up such that you are, don't say fluffer. You gotta have, like, a little bit of, like, tension where, like, you aren't expecting what's happening. If I just say I'm the God's gift to gaming, and no one will be surprised when I actually have the 50-mile, like the 5-mile long crotch shot from halfway across reality, killing Hugo Boss when he's like at the Daytona 500. I don't know why I picked the Daytona 500 for that one, but I did. Alright, and in horror game fashion, you save the Magnum... the Magnum... Oh. What do you mean this item can't be used here? Oh, that's That's deeply unfortunate. At least we have ammo this time. So, rule of 3, I have to do this 3 times? Oh, that's not gonna go over too well. I really am sad that this is going the way it is. Yeah, this is a much better combat designed boss. Where previously it was like a puzzle dominant. Fuck. It was a puzzle dominant boss rather than a combat dominant boss. I think I didn't take any damage because I was an iframe level. Iframe land. Yeah, I think it says that I got hit, but you aren't actually hit. That was too early. So, like, are we a member of the family that presumably sealed the Elder Gods? Is that what the game is trying to go for? Because it does feel like the energy that is going on here. And of course I biffed that. I don't know, this feels like a 2. A 2-hit and you're dead boss here. Because, like, that is kind of like a narrative arc that I am seeing more and more here, where, like... Yep, no, I got hit. Like, I'm reading a manhwa... Oh, I failed. I'm reading a manhwa right now, it's like the time-limited genius, and I feel that the big reveal is going to be something about the family leads the protagonist boy from being like a hero in one timeline to a bad guy in the one timeline, which is a trope I'm seeing like more and more. It's funny that he's the only one being big sucked. And how technically we did just kill an Elder God using like 1800s tech.
And give my regards to Lucia.
No, like, lady, you still gonna need that. There's still monsters upstairs, lady. Oh no.
Caroline, you're alive.
How's my sister?
She's still out, but I think she's coming around. She was murmuring your name.
Let's get out of here. That's the containment door. If it closes, we'll be trapped on here forever.
I was gonna laugh if he handed us our sister. It was the same dude. It's the US guy, I'm assuming, who came here to find his mom. Who was Isabella, who died.
Oh, thank God you're awake. How do you feel? Caroline? What happened to you? You look like you got hit by a truck. I don't even care. Now I know you're okay. I know I've made some mistakes, but I'll never stop trying if I think you need
The
help.
models failed again.
Will you ever be able to forgive me? Hey, you came back for me. I knew you would. Of course I forgive you. Now can we just get out of Villa Hess, please? Because this was not the bougie little health spa you made it out to be. Yes, that sounds like a good plan. Let's start walking. Who's this guy? This is Miguel. He helped us survive this nightmare.
Hey,
He's cute. Do you think? I don't know, but don't let him catch on. He already thinks he's Mr. Smooth. Are you up for walking, Miguel? We're gonna follow the tracks.
a stroll through the countryside in the company of two beautiful women? Well, how could I possibly say no?
See? What did I tell you? So,
And-
Miguel, where did you two kids meet?
Well, there was a couple of times when your sister was about to die, and I was able to step in and bring a cooler head to the situation.
Cooler head? He almost shot me the first time we met.
Well, that's not exactly my fault. The way she was walking, I thought she was one of them.
If you'd been frozen for 14 years, you'd be walking like that too.
Jeez, I would love a 14-year sleep.
Sheesh. I only asked how you two met.
This is the canon ending then, which makes sense. The good ending of the first game was the canon ending. Also, I called it, chat. We have a nice, delightful cringe ending, the same level of cringe as Resi 2. I'm gonna turn down the music here, because I'm not sure how, like, copyrighted this is. So you know what, the hell with it, if it is. So, I haven't played Gothic 1 or 2, Nemi. Much like Morrowind, it is on the, it can't be that bad list. Gothic 1 at least. So we will, at least do 2 hours of it at some point. Hey. The German-Polish vote? Thankfully, the, yeah, there you go. I wouldn't believe it. From what I've seen, I think I watched Lucky play Gothic 1. And they seemed like perfectly good RPGs. The problem is, like, reacquainting myself with old-timey RPGs. Which are periodically difficult to do, because as much as I will shill for Morrowind, and I love it with all my heart, it does take me a little bit to re-engage, like, archaeological... Lizard! Why did you ban me? You just killed someone! Summary executions going on in Welly chat. What is going on here? It was an accident. Okay. Were you going to delete the message? That's what I'm gonna guess what the plan was. Actually, is ban next to delete? Right, click on lizard. Ban, timeout, warn, unmod, permit. I'm gonna guess you were going for a timeout. It was just a complete accident, okay. I remember Baz meme timeouting Strudel, which I don't remember why Baz did it. I don't remember why Baz did it. But I remember the rule for that is a thing. I remember it is, I just don't want to say it right now. Alright, but yeah, no, Gothic will probably play better than Morrowind, I'm assuming. Which, I guess, while we're waiting 70 years for the credits to play and we get the inevitable reveal, we'll just take a look at our game list for now. Screen man. This is everything I have on there for now that I've bothered to add to the list. So feel free to take a quick snip. And behold the terrors that people have on here. Alright, I will make this world from question mark to real. It is now real. I'm kind of scared that there is a console version. We got the B ending. What does the B ending unlock? Wait, that's it? You have to use the analog? Yeah. Well, he's confirmed bad at video game. I've brought great shame to the dynasty. You have to turn my house into a Taco Bell now so I can, like, work off my shame. Like a good place to, like, see what the hell's going on. We'll go to the church. Yeah, load the save data. I want to see what shirt we were given. Because it kind of looked like a park ranger uniform, which is a kind of a weird fit. Yeah, Queen, we gotta do a fit check here. That is, like, one voice I've been banned from using at work. There was a coalition of the coworkers I sit near that, banned me from using my gay accent. Made me very sad. But not everybody can be, this advanced as Wellington. I feel there's a lot of content we missed in this game as well. Is there... True. It's so deep in the uncanny valley at times. It's like my sultry voice I use for certain female characters in video games. I've also been banned from using, which has also been really funny. Like this door right here, locked from the other side. I don't know what we're missing here. Welly got canceled by the Zoomers at work. It was bound to happen eventually. But I think someone was saying incredulity about how the fragments of the Elder God's soul were trapped in the various boss characters here. And I think the explanation for that is, or the logic behind it, is these are 4 people who kind of, like, took elements of it into themselves. This is going to be a very skimpy outfit, isn't it? Oh no, this is fine. I was worried because it only had the shirt. Are we, like, police officer? The jiggle physics are even more aggressive in this outfit. This feels like Chilean police officer lady. Let's go to the gun. Yeah, it is very form-fitting. We have better lighting here. I was expecting park ranger, but no, this is definitely like a police officer because of the radio there. What type of radio is that? Is that actually hooked up properly? No, I'm not. I don't think that's modeled properly. Maybe it is, but it's just hard to see with this level of fidelity. Wow, Wick, what a degenerate. You're looking at the booty and I'm looking at the radio. It's been a while since I've messed around with a radio like that, because, when I was working as an AM still, we had that type, roughly. It was a bit taller, though. There's certainly booty, but it's no booty physics. Alright. Is there anything we missed? Because there was a photo I saw. There was a photo I saw on the Steam page that I thought was a spoiler, and I was spoiled, but I suppose not. Missed the bad ending? Quite goofy? I'm going to assume the bad ending is just like, aha! Oh, I see now. It wasn't like a real spoiler, it was a fake spoiler. Not dictator. It was this thing. Well. Which honestly I can kind of see happening, given the fact that we were given, like, the super soldier serum that was specifically said that regenerated people, or, like, cause things to like generate, and given the fact that we have like the super blood as is, I can imagine like in the next game like we get our eyeball back. But what am I to say? Yeah, we can look at the bad end. Tormented Souls 2 endings. How to get all endings. Oh my god, this is so long. Need a face cam and a lot of red arrows. Who's gonna be my face cam? It's horror season, so we'll have this. We'll have actually, you know what? No, the wallaby is my face cam. Window capture. Let's actually do it professionally and properly capture it this time. And let me actually, like, mute the game real quick. I didn't think about this, but with Gen AI, you can make a... Yeah, no, you definitely can. There is a non-zero chance that was a Gen AI image.
Finally, the chosen ones are both here. It is just
I mean, if I were...
told, my Lord Nautilus.
It...
The Wild Burger twins have come to set
Bad...
you free.
Bad, I'm assuming, like, she force chokes us and it actually works, and there's no boss fight.
Give me back my sister, Lucia. We're not taking part in this twisted resurrection.
Actually, let me make sure here, because there was Booba there. That just doesn't make any sense.
Child, you think you can resist what has already been decided.
I'm not infected with your puppet virus. Your mind control tricks won't work on me.
I don't need the virus to control you, Caroline. I've been pulling...
Wait, this is the bad ending and not the neutral ending? Okay, that I am going to go back and verify to see if we can even get into this room while not having the puppet virus. Well, actually, first off, like, that all happens...
Rise from your eternal slumber. I am your loyal emissary, mighty one, who freed you from your unjust exile. Now is the time to shine your light upon the world. Strike down this blasphemer!
That was a mistake, demon. I'll send you straight back to the other side.
I was running my mouth. I didn't notice the first time that we were holding on to something.
Go back to the abyss, Hellspawn. And give my regards to Lucia.
Oh, did I miss a big follows? Thank you, Lizard. Did my mic even pick that up? I whispered that's not how hair works. She was wearing a wig all along. He had a weave. Alright, and this is the canon ending where one of us bangs man. Alright. Let's not share something that I don't want to share. Alright, bam. Indeed, bummer. Where is it? We're actually at SpookCon 1. This is 1, right? Yeah, 1. It's too late. The skeleton is already inside you, or in this case, outside of Carolyn, because she's a skeleton, as in her skin fell off. Alrighty. Well, thank you, people, for joining me in the VOD and our time in Tormented Souls 2. I am 90% sure that they're going to do a resi of this and make Tormented Souls every now and again. We'll review this game another time. I think it is better than the first one. There were a lot of points where I was grumpy, but that is in part because the pacing was different and change is bad. Change isn't bad, but when you've done one thing, you feel like change is bad. More weapon variety, I think, and the weapons felt nice. The upgrades were goofy, and apparently we missed a couple of upgrades as well, which is baffling to me, but eh. The final boss was the by far biggest improvement, and the overall kind of both simplification and je ne sais quoi, more comfortable, more pleasant design for the final area. The puzzles overall, I think, made more sense. Like, maybe they were a bit too clear. I think if we have a third one of these, what I would really like to see is the same thing with Silent Hill, where you have, like, a puzzle difficulty slider separate of the difficulty slider. But I don't think that's going to happen. But that is it for Tormented Souls 2. Thank you for joining, and au revoir.